big old tree. I'ma make them wait for the pussy.
What's up, YouTube streets? This is your girl Drea, and welcome to Drea's Corner. Thank you for stopping by and tuning in to my channel. So I am back with another video, and today's video is going to be a story time about how I became bisexual and my first encounter with a girl. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this simply because, you guys, it has been officially 1 year since I have been out of my relationship that I was in previously. I was in a relationship with a female for 5 years, and this was our second time being in a relationship. The first time we were together for like 3 years, and then the second time we were together for 5. So we had a 8-year relationship pretty much. But, and she was like I was like in love with that girl. You know, let's just say that I was in love with her, okay? So, like, let me tell you how I even got into that lifestyle. And I feel like it's an important story to know about me, just to kind of give you guys a little background on me and my life and the things that I've been through or whatever, and my experiences or whatever. So basically, it all started when I was like in the ninth grade, and I was in journalism class, right? Because I love to write or whatever, and I love stories. I guess that's kind of how I'm doing YouTube now or whatever. But I kind of so I liked writing and things of that nature, stories and stuff like that. So I took journalism, and there was this girl in my journalism class, okay, and she was like a tomboyish girl or whatever. She was real quiet or whatever, and she stayed to herself or whatever. But she was just interesting to me. I would always see her in the class. And it's funny because the year prior to that, like my 8th grade year, I remember that summer there was like this stud girl who liked me and had a crush on me, and was kind of trying to like hit on me or whatever. And I was like not feeling that. I like beat this girl up and everything for like even trying to come at me like that or whatever. So it was crazy. Like that next year I see this girl in my journalism class, and then it was like one day we had to write like a paper or whatever, and we had to write this paper, and we had to like let someone read it or whatever, right? So me and her were both quiet in the class or whatever. So we kind of, was introverts. We like stayed to ourselves or whatever like that. And everybody else in the class already had their partners and knew who they wanted to link up with and have them proofread their papers. So everybody got in their little groups, excuse me, and it was just me and her or whatever. So we exchanged papers or whatever, and we let each other read our papers. So I'm reading her, she's reading mine, and she wrote like a poem. And this poem that she wrote, like, she already was like a tomboy or whatever. And so when I read the poem, I could tell like it was about someone she loved or somebody that she cared about, that she wanted to be with or was with. And it almost sounded like she was talking about a woman or a girl or whatever. So around this time, I think I'm probably about 15 at the time or whatever. Yeah, I'm like 15 years old or whatever. So I read her paper, and like I said, it sounds like she's talking about a girl. So I asked her, I'm like, hey, can I ask you a question? And she's like, sure, what? And I was like, it's kind of personal. She was like, oh, that's fine. What do you want? And she's like, what's your question? So I asked her, I was like, are you gay? Like, do you like girls or whatever? And she was like, maybe. And I was like, okay. I took that maybe as a yes. I'm like, okay, or whatever. So like we just started kind of hanging out and just like being friends with each other. We were new to this school because we're coming from like middle school to high school now. And at the time we was in like what's called a ninth grade center, where it was just ninth graders and 11th, 12th 10, 11, and 12th graders had their own campus next door or whatever, because they didn't want to mix like these ninth graders with these 10, 11, 12th graders, because they was like looking grown and stuff. So we was like in our own little school or whatever. So it's a ninth grade center. So we had got close, we became friends or whatever. And then one day she just asked me, she was like, I know you're not gay or anything, because like I was one of those girls. I was like a cheerleader. I was on the dance team. I was on the step team or whatever. We had a step team called LOE, which was Lady of Elegance or whatever, right? And so I was like a popular girl, like kind of like, I wouldn't say like I was like a jock popular, because I've never played basketball or volleyball or nothing like that, because I sucked at like sports or whatever. So I wasn't like, you know, I just was like known as like a pretty girl in school, and like, all the guys just liked me. Like, I dated a lot of jocks and stuff. Like, I dated boys that played basketball, football, or whatever like that. So I was very well known, and I had two younger brothers that were very well known in school or whatever. So like people knew who I was or whatever. So she was like, I know you ain't never been with a girl before or anything, but like, would you be my girlfriend for a week? And I will buy your lunch for that whole week. And at the time, like, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Like, my mama was kind of poor. Like, she worked at HEB. I remember back in the day, HEB used to pay $2. Okay, $2.18 or something like that an hour. That's how much my mama was making back then. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't making a lot of money. She was a single mother with three kids. And she had her own legal issues that prevented her from being able to like um, have certain jobs and stuff like that or whatever, right? So, you know, she didn't have a lot of money, and here it is. I'm going into high school, and by the time you get to high school, you should not be eating no free lunch. That's just how it was back then, right? So like, I used to like starve sometime because I did not want to be seen with the free lunch white tray. Like, no, with the government food. I didn't want to be seen like with that stuff. So when she came to me with this offer, I was like, okay. That was crazy that I was even thinking like that at 15, but I was like, okay, sure, or whatever. So we still kind of acting as friends or whatever. It just ended up getting serious. So for like that whole week, she bought me lunch. She was real nice to me, real sweet. I would go hang out at her house, and she was raised by her dad, because her mom had passed away when she was young, when she was like 5 or whatever. And so she was raised by her dad. She had a little brother. So I remember she would have me come over there, and she'd tell her dad, oh, daddy is my friend, such and such, or whatever like that. So I would go to her house, be spending the night, all kind of stuff. And it went from a week to like, we dated to like probably on and off from ninth grade year to like my 11th grade year or whatever, 11th 12th grade year. Actually, from ninth grade to 12th grade, we were like on and off or whatever, because like she was like cheating or whatever. Like, once she started coming out, because one thing, and this was like back in 99 2000s, okay, and I remember like being gay around that time. It was, people wasn't just out like they are now. They wasn't celebrating gay pride and all this stuff like they was, like they are now or whatever. So back then, like, it was like we were like the pioneers in our school, where we were like we would like hold hands and show PDA in public at school and stuff like that. And I never forget, my mama had a friend whose daughter went to school with me, and I guess my mom's friend daughter, told her mom that, hey, Andrea such such daughter is gay. Like, she has a girlfriend, and her girlfriend is like tomboyish and blah blah blah. And so that woman went back and told my mom, and I never forget, like I said, I introduced her to my mom as my friend too. So she would come to my house, spend the night. And so when my mama heard this, she was like, what? You know? And so my mama confronted me about it. I think she ended up finding, I guess once that lady told her that, she ended up finding like a letter or something, like going through my stuff, and then she found like this letter that Naisha, oh, that's sorry, that she wrote to me or whatever. And so yeah, yeah, so she wrote me a letter or whatever, and my mom found it. And so my mom questioned me about it, asked me, hey, what's up with this? You dating girls now, so you gay now? And back then, they had words like dyke and bull dagger. That was the main thing they used to say back in the day. Like, them bull daggers. I don't know where they got bull daggers from, like, for gay people. I don't know, like, how they go together, but like my mama used to say that all the time, them damn bull daggers. So then when she found out that I had started talking to a girl, now I'm a dyke, now I'm a bull dagger. And I used to hate those words or whatever, right? So yeah, so me and her dated on and off from like ninth grade to like 12th grade. And I remember, like, we did everything together. We were like best friends. We were like inseparable. Like, I used to like be stalking bitches behind her. Like, I did not play behind that girl. I was like I fell head over heels for her. She was like my first love. You know what I'm saying? As far as with women, she was like my first love. So I was like head over heels for this girl. And I remember crying many nights over her because, like, she would break up with me so she could talk to other girls. And I just was like, oh my God, I was so devastated or whatever. So yeah, so then we ended up breaking up probably like my 11th grade year, my junior year. We broke up or whatever. She had moved, like, her dad passed away when we were still in school. And I remember she came to live with me and my mom for a while because she had an older sister. So it was her older sister who was like grown and in her 20s, and then her, and then she had a little brother. And so her and her sister like wasn't really close at the time. One, because of age difference, also because of the lifestyle she was living. By this time we like 16, 17 years old or whatever like that. And so her sister like wouldn't take care of her or whatever, so she came to live with us, with me and my mom. And so she lived with me and my mom for about a good 6 months to a year or whatever. And we did some crazy things. I remember my mom put her out. She was like, she got to go. Y'all not finna be doing this up in my house. She got to go or whatever. So I remember she left, and like I left with her. I was like 17, 16, 17 years old. I ran away with this girl, everything, like, and was gone for like 2 weeks, trying to be grown, thinking I'm in love or whatever, and trying to have her back because I'm so freaking loyal or whatever. And yeah, so she ends up somehow going back to her sister. So her sister finally takes her in. She go lives with her sister off in Katy or whatever. And I was living in A-Leaf at the time. A-Leaf and Katy is probably like 20, 30 minutes apart or whatever. It just depends on where you at or whatever. Um, on the southwest side or whatever. A-Leaf southwest side is real big, and it just take you 20, 30 minutes to get anywhere around in Houston or whatever. So like I said, she had moved to Katy or whatever. And so it was, and where she was at, it was kind of like 30 minutes to an hour from where I was living. At the time we were young, we didn't have cars or nothing like that. So the relationship kind of fell off. Now during that time, like, I had a kid in between that time, because my son, he is about to be 18 in a couple months or whatever, guys. So yeah, I around my 11th grade year, me and her had split up or whatever, and I ended up getting pregnant with my son or whatever. And she helped me through that. Like, she really did. Like, that first 6 months to like a year or so, she was like involved in his life. Like, she is part of the reason why I even graduated high school, because I remember she would like watch my kid for me when I would go to school or whatever. She would watch him and like literally take care of him. Like, she Like she was his mother, his second mom or whatever. And I'll always forever be grateful to her for that, because like she really helped me in a time, that was hard. Especially we had broke up, and she come back to me, and I got a whole baby. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, we break up, and then she come back, and I got a whole baby on her or whatever. And she still was like down for me and my son or whatever, and took care of us, helped me, because she ended up graduating early. That was the thing. Like we was in the same grade at one point, but then when she moved and went to Katy, she ended up like getting her own. She ended up like finishing school early, because she was like real smart too or whatever. She was a Cancer. Yes, so as y'all can see, I've been loving me some Cancer since way back when. But yeah, she was a Cancer, so she's really smart or whatever. So she ended up graduating a year early, and then she made 18. And so she basically started getting a check. She was getting a check from Social Security because her dad had passed, right? So she took all that money, and then she had a car. So she took all the money that she had been saving and whatever her sister would give her, whatever, and she ended up like coming back to me and helping me with my son or whatever. So then she was like, I want to do something. I got to do something for us. I got to get, at the time I'm still in school. I'm in my senior year. She's already out of school or whatever. She's already graduated. She's like, she was hustling, trying to find jobs and, all this stuff. And she was like, I gotta go to the military. Like I'm going to do this for us. I'm going to go do basic training. You just chill, take care of on, make sure everything good. That's my son's little nickname or whatever. She was like, take care of on, make sure he good or whatever. And I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna join, and I'm gonna do my basic training, blah blah blah, and I'm gonna come back for you or whatever. And I did not want her to leave. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was very codependent on her. I did not want her to leave. I was like so devastated. I was like so hurt. Like, even though, like, I knew that she wanted a lot more in life, just like I did too. I didn't want to feel like I was holding her back or anything like that. And yes, she told me it was for us, but I was like, man, you gonna go to the military, you gonna forget about me. You gonna be traveling the world and all this stuff. You're not gonna have time for me. And I am a person who can't do long distance relationships. I have tried, and they are not for me. Like, I just can't. I need to be able to touch you and feel you on a regular basis. I'm sorry, I just can't. Like, I can't do the over the phone, the internet. No, because I need to see you. People be catfishing. And not only that, like, I need to touch you. I need to see you. I need to see what the fuck is going on. Okay? So, like, I'm very nosy. Like, I need to know what's going on. Anybody around, any side bitches, they got to go. All of that, I need to know. So, like I said, sorry guys. Like I said, she ends up going to the military, and she did, like, she says, because we still talk to this day every now and then, every couple years or every other year or so, she'll check on me somehow via social media or whatever. She'll reach out to me or whatever, and we've been cool since freaking, I think I met her in 99. Okay, 99, 2000s. I met that girl. We've been cool ever since. You know what I'm saying? We had our ups and downs or whatever, but we were young. We didn't know any better, but we sure thought we was grown. I tell you that we did a lot of stuff at a young age, like surviving type shit, like for real. Like, and so, like I said, she ended up going to the military, and I had graduated high school, and then I started going to college at the time. And I just kind of was like, I didn't think she was coming back, like, because I hadn't talked to her for like weeks. It was like a month had went by, a month or two had went by, and I hadn't heard from her or anything. So I kind of, and then with her track record, I felt like she just moved on and found another chick or whatever like that. So I wasn't gonna wait on her anymore. So I'll never forget, this is how I met my ex that I just recently broke up with or whatever, or split it up from. So my girlfriend goes off to the military, so we kind of, because I told her I could not do no long distance relationship, so we need to split up or whatever. But in her mind, even though we were broken up, she was like, she know me, she know I love her, and she know it don't matter, even if she drill with somebody, I'm gonna get her back, she gonna come back to me, so whatever, I'm gonna go do what I gotta do. So she goes off. I don't hear from her, nothing. So I had a friend, and I never forget, my friend name was Bridget at the time. And me and Bridget was real close and hanging tough. And Bridget asked me to get back then. The chat line was popping back then. Like, I don't know where all you guys are in the world, but I know, like, back in the day in Texas, like, we used to have like the hotline, the chat line, and you call in to it or whatever, and it would be a place where they have rooms for gay, lesbian, single, freaks, all kind of different rooms, right? And like you could request somebody, like say you get into the chat room and it's a bunch of different people, kind of like how it be on the internet now, like with the gaming. Say it's like a bunch of people in a room or whatever, right? And everybody's talking or having a discussion or whatever the case may be. And then say you run across somebody that you like, y'all exchange names or line extensions or whatever. I don't really remember how it went back then, but you exchange your names or your line extension or whatever, and y'all could go to a separate room and talk privately or whatever, so it's not a bunch of people voices or whatever. So basically that's what happened. So I'm on there. So my homegirl was like, yeah, let's get on here, whatever. She was single, she trying to be on the chat line meeting people or whatever. So she was like, so I set it up for her, right? Well, so I did my own profile, and so it's like you call in and you be on the phone and you be like, yeah, my name is Drea, I'm 5'3", 130 pounds, caramel complected with full lips. You just describe yourself and all this stuff, and you be like, yeah, so if you like my voice and you like this description, hit me up. Bye. It'll be something like that, right? And so you would get dings, like these messages would come through, like all the people that done heard your message, your voicemail message, and they hit you up, they want to get to know you or whatever. So my ex happened to slide in mine. It's kind of like she slid in my DMs. Like, we didn't have DMs back then, but that's kind of like how it was. Like, so we started talking, and then, no, I think actually it was vice versa. I was on there, either she hit me up or I hit her up, because I never forget, I heard her voice. And like my ex, for some reason, I don't know why that she does this, but she's from Louisiana, right? Some reason this girl will like change her voice, and she kind of have like this like New York type swag to her, like this pretty boy Rico Suave ass type sound to her and shit. And that shit turned me on though. I ain't even gonna fucking I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. That shit was, I used to be like, oh my god, that shit is so sexy. But anyway, so she had that voice on or whatever, right? And she was like, yeah, this is Tigress. I never forget, that was her name. That was her online name. She was like, hold on, y'all, because it looked like my computer about to die. So hold on a minute. Let me set it up real quick to charge it. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, like I was saying, I heard her voice, her voicemail or whatever, and she sounded real good, and I like that little New York sound, because at the time, like my ex, my first love, my first girlfriend or whatever, had left and went to the military. She had been in there for some months now, right? Because I graduated like that. She left probably like that January. I graduated like May or whatever. So she had been gone for some time or whatever, right? And eventually we talked. She would call me and we talked via phone or whatever. And but that was like not regularly. It was like every now and then or whatever. So I was talking to this other chick that I had met on the online chat, and that's how I got my friend. Now it's coming back to me. That's how I got my friend on, because I was just bored and lonely and I had like found this phone number, like, because I think it was in a green sheet back in the day. We in Houston, Texas, we have like a local paper that have all kind of stuff in it, like jobs, education, entertainment on going on in the city, and all this stuff, right? So I think I had found that number in the green sheet, so I had been calling it and had been like I had already set up my own little line, so I was showing my friend. And at the time, I was talking to another chick on that chat line or whatever, and she had a like New York accent. So when I heard my ex's voicemail, instantly I was attracted to her or whatever. So we talked, we chopped it up or whatever. And back then, we had AOL internet service back then. So I remember she sent me a picture like through email or something like that. And sorry, it was a fly. But so yeah, what was I saying? Oh, sorry. Okay, so she ends up sending me a picture through like the email, and I sent her one, and we just started talking. And then she told me where she was living at the time. She was living in Clear Lake, and I was on the southwest side, and she wasn't from here. She was she was born in Louisiana, but she was raised in Beaumont, right? So she was had just came back from the military herself, and she was older at the time. I was 18, 19 when I met her, and she was like 24 at the time, right? So I'm thinking I'm all that, because I'm like, ooh, I got me a grown person. And she had a car, she had a job at the time. She was working for this nice well-known security company and stuff, and she was grown, and she was ex-military. So I was like, ooh, okay, I'm winning. And I'm 18, 19 years old at the time, so I'm thinking I'm grown as hell. I'm like, ooh, yes, I'm grown. I got somebody that's grown, that's interested in me, that like me, and all this and that. So I ended up guiding her and so we decided we gonna meet up one day. We got tired of talking over the phone, over the chat line, and all that stuff via email and all that. So we was like, we gonna meet up or whatever. So I ended up telling her how to get from her house to my house, which is like a 45 to 45 minutes to an hour drive. Okay, so I'm telling her how to get to my house or whatever. We end up meeting because we had been talking for a good at least month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months. We had been talking over the phone and internet or whatever. So finally we ended up meeting up or whatever. She came to my apartments. It was some kind of holiday or something going on. I don't remember, because that's so many years ago. I don't remember. But like she came and we hung out. I never forget, she came with her cousin, I think. And I think that she had a family member that actually lived in my apartments, which was crazy. And so when she came there with her cousin, I guess the cousin either he left and went and met up with like they family that lived in the apartments, or he had like had somebody come pick him up and went somewhere. But so it was just me and her, and I never forget, we had some hot steamy sex that day in her car or whatever. I'm a little tramp. Yes, I did. I had sex in her car or whatever. So yeah, and then we was inseparable from there. We ended up getting together, and we was together for 3 years. She ended up moving with me because I accidentally wrecked her car. Whatever. I didn't know how to drive. I kind of knew how to drive, but not really. Like, I hadn't really been on the road or a freeway like that or whatever. And she was like, let me drive her car, and I ended up wrecking it. And she was living with her brother at the time, way in Clear Lake. And so when I wrecked her car, she ended up losing her job, so she didn't have money to pay her rent where she stayed with her brother. And plus, she wanted to be with me anyway. And at the time, I was living with my mom. So she ended up moving with me and my mom. And then, like, after probably 2 or 3 weeks of her being there, my mom was like, nope, y'all not about to be doing this gay shit in my house. Nope, she got to go. You and your baby too got to go. You grown now. I never forget that. My mama told me, you grown now, and two grown women can't be up in the same house. So you need to go ahead. You got 30 days to find you an apartment. And at the time, I was in college, and I was working, and I had a 1-year-old baby at the time. So I was like, okay. So I told her, look, this is what my mama said. We got to do what we got to do. And I'll never forget, I was working at Wendy's at the time. And I ended up finding an apartment and came up with the deposit and the money and all that, because at the time my girlfriend had just lost her job. She wasn't working. So I did all that, got us our first apartment, and we was inseparable from there. She ended up getting a job working. She was working like at a warehouse at the time, and she was like getting paid every week, bringing home like $400 to $500 every week. And I never forget, she really like molded me into a woman and helped me grow into a woman. Cause like I never forget, she would go to work hard, come home at night, and when she would get paid, she would take money out for her to do whatever she needed to do for her personal needs and to have food and eat lunch and all that stuff. And then she would give me the rest of her check, and she'd be like, here, pay the bills and do whatever you got to do for the house. And I literally did that. And so like that's why I'm so used to, like, I guess being in a relationship and being like a wifey material or whatever, because like I was doing it at a young age with her or whatever. And so yeah, guys, so that is how I became bisexual, how I got into a relationship with a girl, which ended up ending later on, and I met the ex or whatever. So I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. So let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section, and I will hit you guys with another video. I have been gone for a while, so I plan on kind of like just making some videos back to back and uploading, just to keep this stuff going, guys. And please let me know what other story times you want to talk about, or what other discussions you would like to talk about, because that was another reason why I had stopped making videos for a minute, because I had kind of didn't know what to talk about, what to do, or whatever the case may be. So, and I've tried to do a live before, but people really don't get on my lives because nobody really knows I'm on YouTube, and people really aren't watching my videos too much, but it's okay. It's kind of like therapy for me. That's really why I started this channel, because it was kind of like a journal, but like on camera or whatever, right? So it's therapeutic for me, and it's actually kind of fun or whatever. So that is my story time video. I plan to do many more. Please don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell. And don't forget to leave some comments. Like, let's converse. Let's talk back and forth, guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want me to talk about. You can ask me questions. Let me know if you want me to do a live and you'll get on and we can do a Q&A. We can talk about all kind of stuff. Just let me know, guys. So I will talk to you guys later in another video. Bye.
And that's what they call me. I promise that you never be lonely.